Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera, selamat pagi, very good morning to everyone, and good evening, good night to Fairuz, who is now in New York. New York is about 10 p.m. over there. Today, first of all, thank you very much everyone for joining this online session. Today we have two special guests, Ahnaf Hakimi, Mr. Ahnaf Hakimi, there he is, right, and also Mr. Fairuz Sulaiman. They will be sharing with us their recent projects. Okay, Ahnaf Hakimi will be sharing, give some insights about his recent Wayang Animatronik project, and Fairuz will also share with us his recently completed project as a part of his master's degree requirement that he did in Germany. Anyway, congratulations. I heard you received a good grading for that project. Okay. So we don't want to waste time. I will briefly give the structure of this talk. There will be 4 sections. Section number 1, I will allow both of them to introduce themselves so we can get to know them better. And then section number 2, they will be sharing about their inspiration, where the ideas came from, how did they get their ideas, any particular observations or experiences that sparked their ideas, or any particular issues or problems that they wanted to respond to. So that will be the first section. The second section will be on the process, the methodology, how they convert their ideas into actuality, who they work with, who they collaborated with, individuals, groups or institutions, people with other kind of expertise, where they do their projects, the site that they did their project, with whom they engage with, what community that they were working with, targeting, the softwares, the hardwares, the equipments, the applications, any particular things that they use in actualizing their projects. And the final part, the fourth part, will be on the reactions that they receive, the findings, the responses, the reactions that they receive from their targeted demography or audience or communities, and any possible future follow-ups from what they have received from these projects. Now we go to the first section. First section is to know both of you. Okay. So siapa nak mulakan dulu memperkenalkan diri? Maybe Hakimi dulu kot. Ya.
Ya, boleh. Hai, Assalamualaikum. Okay. Saya Ahnaf Hakimi. Dan ini saya punya recent project lah. Okay, Wayang Kulit Animatronik. So perlu kenalkan diri dulu Prof Hasnul.
Kenalkan diri dulu lah.
Okay, baik.
Siapa hang?
Okay, sebenarnya saya daripada Diploma Elektronik Engineering. Kemudian saya sambung ke USM, Graphic Com, dan Master dalam Instructional Multimedia. Okay, right now I am a lecturer in Hancang University College dan berpengalaman 10 tahun dalam seni visual dan fabrikasi. Okay, jadi sebenarnya saya sebelum ini saya buat artwork untuk artis lain. Okay, tapi untuk kali ini saya buat artwork untuk diri saya sendiri. Setelah sekian lama saya tak buat artwork untuk diri sendiri, yang melibatkan robotik dan visual art. Okey. Jadi pertama kali saya terlibat dalam visual art ni pada tahun 2010. Okey, waktu tu di zaman diploma saya cipta satu robot. Itu nama dia Helping Hand. Okey, anda boleh tengoklah dekat saya punya Facebook. Okey. Robot tu dia cuma membantu warga emas, warga kurang upaya untuk selak buku. Okey, tanpa menggunakan tangan. Okey, tapi projek itu ada sedikit masalah lah di waktu tu, sebab waktu tu saya pun nakal juga sebenarnya. Pada waktu yang sama saya ambil upah buat projek untuk grup orang lain.
Okay. Right.
Okay, so basically during diploma saya buat 3 projek. Projek saya dan 2 lagi untuk grup lain. Satu lagi buat vacuum yang macam zaman sekarang ni. So basically obstacle avoidance robot, tapi kita letak mop lah untuk dia. Dan kemudiannya kita buat smart home. Waktu tu memang susah, tak ada Arduino, tak ada Kickstarter lah. Okay, electronic kit for Kickstarter. Jadi semuanya manual. Programming pakai PIC, bukan Atmel. Okay, dan saya rasa itu saja kot pengenalan untuk diri saya. Okay, Prof?
Okay, anyway, so selamat pagi kawan-kawan, rakan-rakan semua di Malaysia dan anywhere else yang ada sekarang tengah tune in. Okay, so saya punya introduction pun saya buat pendek je lah, sebab informasi semua tu ada online. Kalau kamu semua nak tengok is there lah. So sekarang ni I'm showing you my website. This is website saya yang sudah setahun lebih tidak diupdate ke 2 tahun. 2 tahun tak diupdate. Kena sibuk membuat research. Kononnya lah sibuk membuat research. Dan insyaAllah akan diupdate lah secepat mungkin. Okay, so kalau saya scroll kat website saya ni, you can kind of see sedikit lah apa background saya. Kalau tengok secara sekali pandang nampak macam banyak screen, yeah. So there's a projection screen here, there's a image screen here, there's a video karaoke screen here, you know. So background saya memang multimedia, MMU, Syarul Jaya. Masa tu saya buat animasi 3D. Tapi saya tak minat 3D, tapi saya telah di scam sedikit lah, kerana nama programnya filem dan animasi, tapi sebenarnya animasi saja, tidak ada filem. So saya ingat ada filem, sebab itu saya minat. Anyway, so tapi apa yang saya buat ialah lepas saya graduate daripada MMU, saya banyak melibatkan diri dalam projek-projek yang berkait dengan skrin, iaitu sama ada skrin daripada monitor TV atau skrin daripada theater screen, dan kadang-kadang juga skrin yang bersifat structure, contohnya mapping lah. Masa tu kami buat sebuah rumah di Support House di Penang. Kita buat macam event, production marketing ni, and then we did another project jugalah, Boria Raya kita panggil dia. Ini kolaborasi dengan satu kumpulan Boria di ini bukan GTA, ini just part of Hari Raya punya event, yang dan kami dah Hari Raya dan Hari Malaysia. So it was event yang disamakan lah. So kami buat
berapa Fairuz? What year?
2012.
Yeah. About 10 years ago kan?
Oh, 10 years ago, ya. Yeah. So gambar ni yang saya tengah tunjuk ni ialah satu saya tak nak buat claim lah sebab saya tak suka title-title ni, tapi kami buat mapping di mana bangunan tu bercakap dengan geng Boria. Kalau boleh nampak dekat sini, ni ada 3 orang pelakon Boria tu, dia bercakap dengan bangunan. Bangunan tu bergerak real time, taklah real time sangat sebab saya pakai fader untuk membuka mulut, menutup mulut. Jadinya bila dia punya kawan dia bercakap, iaitu bangunan tu bercakap, saya pun rotate lah dia punya knob tu lah, jadi buka mulut, tutup mulut, buka untuk situ. Gitulah, very DIY punya teknik. Tetapi the story is about heritage. Macam mana cerita pasal bangunan yang sudah lama wujud, dan karakter bangunan tu comes to life dengan bercakap bahasa Penang dengan bahasa utara, so it was a very interesting kind of crossover between different kind of masa tu masih lagi baru mapping tu, tapi Boreal tu dah lama, so maknanya saya dengan tim saya, kakak saya cuba mengeksplorasi not just medium but also cultures and techniques dan mencari space antara dua itulah, overlap dia di mana, so kalau melihat kepada website saya, banyak of this kind of example di mana overlapping antara teknik, overlapping antara analog digital, overlapping antara medium, overlapping antara content, so I want to end there sebab di sini you can take a look at it and ask me more questions later lah. Tapi sekarang ni saya punya current punya direction lebih kepada membuat workshop untuk kanak-kanak, specifically untuk kanak-kanak orang asli, so kami melihat orang asli punya knowledge, orang asli punya teknik tu sebagai satu medium dan knowledge, dan macam mana kita boleh kolaborasi dengan orang-orang asli ni untuk mencari not a new form but mungkin a revised form atau format yang berbeza, yang kita boleh belajar sesama different knowledges lah, we can learn from each other, so itu sekarang punya project. Saya akan bincang sedikit lah lepas ni, tapi sebagai introduction I think that's
a little bit of addition in terms of regards to Hakimi. Hakimi has a company kan? What's the name of your company? Kau promote Hang Chiang company kau tak promote. So aku tolong promote lah. Kan?
Okay. Cognitive
so,
Lab.
Ahnaf Hakimi, Cognitive Lab.
Yes, cognitivelab.com.
Can you tell a bit about your company's portfolio, what you're doing with Cognitive Lab?
Okay, basically we do programming, game development, website. Kemudian kita buat AR, VR, kita buat installation, projection mapping, semuanya berkaitan tentang multimedia. So basically multimedia lah,
Right. So 3D print?
3D print, yeah. So
3D print also.
And 3D modeling lah.
Yes. So Hakimi has been very instrumental in helping many final year students to execute their final year projects, ideas. So, including for me personally, at one point we were doing this stage production called Menua Kitai, where we needed, I think, 2 different projection mapping systems. So luckily Hakimi was around to assist and help us, and the result was amazing. And then in regards to siapa Fairuz ni, anyway, you did I think among the earliest form of projection mapping in Suffolk House. That was extremely amazing, mainly because it was like more than 10 years ago kan. It was during the early period before projection mapping became like a norm almost everywhere around the world. But that was amazing for me, and in a way helping to not only rejuvenate the way we look at historical landmarks but also at historical architecture, and in a very subtle way persuade people, the public, to be more interested about our own history, but in a very entertaining and spectacular way lah, kan? Because projection mapping can do that, and both of you actually have been involved in many, of course, projection mapping. But now, of course, Fairuz is shifting towards more into engagement, especially through workshops, more organic. So we will get to know more about that. Okay, we go to the second part. The second part will be your inspiration, your ideas. Where did your ideas came from? What kind of problems or issue that you were responding to? So maybe kita mulakan dengan Hakimi. Hakimi, can you share with us the ideas of your Wayang Animatronik?
Before I start, saya harap kan peserta yang ada kat sini ni ada idea lah apa itu Wayang Kulit Animatronik. Okay, sebab kalau masih lagi macam blur-blur, saya ada video untuk tunjuk Wayang Kulit Animatronik macam mana dia beroperasi. Tapi kalau semua dah faham, saya akan skip. Siapa nak tengok video?
Kita tengoklah video.
Okay, boleh.
Okay, Fairuz, maybe you can share with us how the heck that you came up with this idea of doing workshop with the orang asli kids. Where did it came from? How did it started? Can you share with us?
Boleh, no problem. Ada website sikit lah. Nak minta grant kena ada website. The punya permulaan was actually this workshop that we did 7 years ago, 2015. Because me and my collective, nama kolektif kami main wayang, and we were doing lo-fi macam wayang, theatre, music, and it was just 3 of us performers yang terlibat. And then lepas tu kami macam seronok menghasilkan theatre yang minimal, using very small props, very limited technology, and bila everything is small, it's easier to do shows because budget memang biasanya tak banyak, So what we did was, lepas couple of years of doing that together as a group, we thought, boleh tak kita buat benda ni yang sama, tapi kita ajar or share these ideas atau ways of working theatre kepada young children, or teenagers lah. So that's what we did with this project called Sekolah Main Wayang. And then this Sekolah Main Wayang ni sebenarnya mendapat mendapat grant daripada Kementerian Belia dan Sukan in 2015. So what we did was we did a workshop with in 3 schools, one in Sabah, one in Sarawak, and one in Kedah, Alustar. And all these workshops is macam trying to get the kids to learn, but also to get the kids to share their ideas, share their skills, share their knowledge, So kita punya workshop ni memang theatre based, a lot of hands-on stuff, and then we did a lot of DIY hacking musical instruments, rewiring the musical instruments, and then we did wayang lah, puppetry using simple cardboard yang kertas, and then eventually they will have a performance at the end, and the performance is content yang daripada diorang. Maknanya kanak-kanak ni, the kids are the ones who coming up with the ideas, the characters. They even come up with the background design, the layout. So you can see here, this is the part of the workshop lah, where they will make the sets and visuals for the background where they were performing. So this is all hand-drawn. You can see this clown is performing in the stage. Itu semua dilukis oleh kanak-kanak lah. So after doing this workshop for about 4-5 years, kami pun macam okay, great, we enjoy it, tapi there was one small problem, because this workshop walaupun seronok dan memang kanak-kanak semua memang they have a great time because they get to perform, tetapi the idea of the Sekolah Main Wayang sebenarnya ialah how we wanted to give access to kids who don't have access to art knowledge or art workshops, So, tetapi masalahnya ialah di sini ialah walaupun we wanted to do that, tetapi we were heavily like this workshop for instance, banyak menggunakan equipment. So if you see this girl's table, ada keyboard lah, ada mixer lah, ada drum pad lah, So all these things were bought. Kita beli daripada bandar, bawa to the school, and then habis workshop, we had to bring it back home, So budak-budak ni tak boleh continue the workshop when we are done or when we finish the classes, So like here you see there's a projector kan, so ada projector, ada speaker, there's a lot of equipment yang terlibat, So kita macam, susah ni kalau kita buat workshop hanya bila kita ada saja workshop tu ada. So the access is also very limited jugalah, walaupun kita asalnya nak cakap nak bagi access kepada semua orang, tapi at the end we are not actually doing that, So this is where we came up for my thesis, this idea of doing this project called Wayang Tech, jangan salah sebut, sebab ada orang salah sebut. So this Wayang Tech ni di sekolah Jerman saya tak faham. Tek-tek lah, tek-tek kat Malaysia je orang kena gelak kan. But anyway, so this wayang tek-tek ni is actually a combination of two different things. Kalau if you look at the, I'm gonna wait. Hold on. Let me just.
When did you start it?
I started this for my thesis research. I think middle last year or early last year, when I was preparing for my thesis proposal. I came up with this idea for my thesis, and then I spoke to my professor and all that kind of stuff. Also spoke to my friends. And I also spoke to you just now. We had a conversation dekat rumah tuju, and then we were talking about working with kids and all that. So this kind of developed from there lah, you know. So I will quickly run down this is my thesis. If anybody wants to read it, I can give it to you, a small file.
Okay.
So yeah, so this what we did was we came up with a name which kind of encompasses the things that my problems that I found when working with the kids. What kind of problems we found, which is accessibility. Kan? So sekarang ni kalau you look at the three words, wayang, we all know what wayang is. Tapi in this case, my wayang is not specifically atau tied to wayang kulit lah, you know. It can be any kind of wayang, because wayang can also mean cinema. Jom tengok wayang, jom tengok movie. It can also mean moving image, you know. So for me, wayang, I'm taking it from a general term, yeah. And then the other first tag is this term called traditional ecological knowledge, which is a short term for indigenous knowledge atau ilmu orang asli lah, you can call it, you know. And ilmu orang asli ni can be about craft, can be about agriculture, it can be about what else can be? It can be a lot of things, that knowledge that passed down about the plants in jungle, what's good for medicine, you know. And knowledge ni usually passed down through orals or storytelling lah, you know, because back then the sun is the way of knowledge is being passed, is through the sun. And then the other tech is short form for technology, and this technology is saya ambil istilah low tech lah, teknologi rendah, bukan high tech, you know. Dan low tech ni sangat the term is very loose, because kalau kat Germany low tech is Arduino, you know. Low tech is still, you know, in Malaysia low tech Arduino is low tech in Malaysia I feel is getah, gravity, you know, spring pakai tin can, that is low tech, you know. So we have to define that lah sebelum kita
analog, macam analog lah.
As analog as possible and not so digital, you know. So this is just some images from my thesis, yeah. So that became the idea. That's how I got my idea.
Fairuz.
Yeah.
And this is from your thesis or master's thesis in Germany that you handed in.
Yeah.
So that's how it looks like in the thesis.
Exactly. My school a bit interesting. They don't have a particular format. They don't have a particular word count. My professor, it depends on the professor, I guess. You know, so my professor was really cool. And maybe not a good idea to share this.
You should tell the name of the university that you went to.
Okay.
This is great. This is awesome.
It's a very, the design is memang like a magazine, you know. I mean, in my mind, you know. But anyway, so we had a series of to get to the idea, just know, was it required a lot of conversations with people, you know. So I did a lot of this kind of open sessions, like you can see on the image now, like this screenshot of a Google Meet that we had, whereby it was part of my getting to the idea of how to do this workshop, or even coming up with this whole concept, was a lot of collaboration and discussions and dialogue, you know. And this is the only way for me to come up with projects. I cannot sit down in a cave or on top of a mountain and can't really get idea. That's not. I don't know. Maybe not me. You know, maybe only some people can do this. Tapi untuk saya memerlukan a team. And working with theatre since, you know, forever is always about collaboration. So it's always about teamwork. You know. So I've always been operating in that kind of method lah, which is working with a person or my own sister at one point, you know, and my friends, you know, people who are close to me, people who have the same idea as me, or even those who don't have the same idea, because dari situ pun you akan dapat inspiration from contrasting or opposing views, So this wayang tek-tek ni, I'm gonna end it here. Came from a lot of discussions. It came from a lot of looking at my past projects and tengok apa criticism yang ada. So we as a team, my wayang punya team, we criticize ourselves a lot, in a good way lah, and also in a bad way. But we also like self-reflect. What happened with the project? Was it good? Really good? All the kids were happy, but really, is that what we want? Just to have happy kids, And how many kids were happy? Only 5, But the money you spent, does it justify just 5 kids being happy? So there's a lot of this kind of self-reflection that we did as a team. And then from that self-reflection baru kita boleh buat ni, kita boleh repair ni, kita boleh solve ni dengan ni. So it took a lot of that kind of conversations lah to happen. It wasn't like a one-man show or one-woman show. It took a whole village to kind of collaborate the ideas, and discuss, and then dialogue, and then okay, let's try this, But even that, which has known, we didn't know what we were doing, because there was no premise, there was no workshops for orang asli that we know of that took the orang asli kids as part of the workshop. And what I mean is, bukan kita ada modul, kita pass ke budak, okay buat. That kind of workshop, whatever you call that, exists a lot. Tapi this is not that kind of workshop, because we are working together with the kids, working together with the kampung, with the community, trying to find a story, trying to find a material for the wayang, trying to find a common ground where we can talk about, wayang lah, whatever wayang means to them. So that kind of format, I couldn't find in my own research lah. Maybe there is, but based on my research, I couldn't find it. So it was really stabbing in the dark, memang mencucuk dalam kegelapan lah, mana nak begini kan. So to cucuk correctly is to have a lot of people cucuking together, so one person cucuk there, oh betul ke kita ke arah ni, betul ke, oh betul, oh salah, So I will end with that lah, and I'll pass it back to
Alright, I have few questions, but I think maybe some of us here may have some questions, but we hold that first.
Sure.
We go to Hakimi first, then we maybe can open up to questions. Yeah. So Hakimi, are you ready?
Okay.
Berjumpa bagaimanakan lawan. Oh iya, siapa ingin ku bertanyakan nama. Jalanlah Cik Ali. Tapi kami juga manusia sesuai juga. Cakap kosong. Ayo, kalau kau berani, mari. Hidup tidak aman bahagia. Maka tinggallah kau di sini. Aku pergi dahulu.
Okay, so itulah dia punya idea. Okay. Jadi macam mana saya dapat idea untuk menjalankan, melakukan artwork ni. Saya tercari-carilah untuk menonton wayang kulit. Jadi biasalah pada waktu ini memang agak susah untuk kita menonton wayang kulit. Mungkin sebab semakin jarang dipersembahkan ataupun melibatkan kos-kos yang tertentu, kena invite orang-orang tertentu, team production wayang kulit kan. Jadi disebabkan itu saya fikir kenapa tak kita gabungkan teknologi dengan tradisional. Jadi kita boleh set up wayang kulit, kita boleh mainkan wayang kulit di mana-mana saja, dan secara tak langsung boleh mengurangkan kos sebab kita dah cut kos untuk upah the crew, untuk dalang, musician. So don't get wrong, kita bukan nak buang kerja. Kita bukan nak cut dia macam tugas tu, tapi untuk show-show yang kecil, show-show yang mungkin untuk majlis-majlis yang tertentu, wayang kulit animatronik ni sesuai. Tapi untuk big show, untuk mengekalkan keaslian tu, untuk dalang, musician yang sebenar, tim-tim production yang sebenar, wayang kulit yang itu dia akan mempersembahkan lah. Tapi untuk show-show yang let's say yang kadar sederhana lah, jadi dengan adanya wayang kulit animatronik ni, kekerapan dia punya frekuensi of persembahan tu kita boleh kerapkan lagi lah. Dan secara tak langsung dia boleh melibatkan lagi lah, memberi pendedahan lagi kepada generasi sekarang terhadap seni tradisional, iaitu wayang kulit. Jadi seperti yang saya highlight di slide, disebabkan kurang persembahan, itu dia objektif dia lah, dan kos yang tinggi, dan kemudahan ini dapat memperbanyakkan lagi persembahan. So itulah dia punya the main objektif, dia punya main vision lah to this project. Alright, so idea di sebalik wayang kulit ni, of course lah dia dia boleh cakapkan memang tough lah untuk saya untuk menyiapkan wayang kulit ni, sebab setiap komponen yang digunakan kita harus ada satu betul-betul punya selection lah terhadap bahan-bahan tu. Dia macam memasak lah. Kalau ramuan tu nice, punya masakan tu memang akan jadi nice lah. Tapi kalau bahan yang kita guna tu tak then tak lah. Dan yang paling penting sekali, yang paling menjadi masalah pada saya sampai sekarang, walaupun wayang kulit tu sekarang dipersembahkan dalam pameran sekarang, tapi sehingga sekarang saya masih lagi do the maintenance. Jadi memang penting lah, sebab untuk mengkaji sendiri tahap ketahanan wayang kulit tu, kita kena tengok dia. Kita akan tengok dia punya komponen dia, sejauh mana ketahanan dia. Jadi ketahanan dan keboleh-ulangan adalah penting. Dia macam mesin lah. Kalau dia punya repairability dia tu lagi tinggi, lagi solid lah, lagi bagus lah, pengerancangan komputer terus digunakan. Untuk yang ini, dia ada dua programming untuk microcontroller yang akan control wayang kulit animatronik ni. Programming untuk dia punya animation, the movement of wayang kulit ni, dia punya karakter ni. So kalau kita nak wayang kulit ni angkat tangan, kita nak program. Kalau kita nak dia rotation, so this program based on the timeline lah, dan berdasarkan Tok Dalang tu dia punya dialog. So at time Tok Dalang tu bercakap, kita akan start program untuk pergerakan mulut. Lepas tu baru kita boleh lihat dia punya automation, dia punya automatic dia tu macam mana. Is it okay ataupun tak okay. Kalau tak okay, kita kena refine, kita kena fine tune bagi dia okay. Jadi bagi saya ini adalah proses yang susah untuk mencapai perfection, tapi at least kalau dapat 80% pun sudah okey lah untuk dia punya animation dia tu. Dan dimainkan secara automatik pada masa hari yang ditetapkan. Jadi wayang kulit saya ni dia ada sistem timer dan sistem keselamatan lah. Apa yang saya maksudkan automatik pada masa dan hari yang ditetapkan ialah kita boleh set hari apa, pukul berapa start main dan pukul berapa habis main. Dan dia akan turn off. Kemudian dia akan repeat again mengikut hari yang kita programkan. Jadi kalau kita nak weekday pukul 10 hingga pukul 4, kita boleh set macam tu. Jadi tak perlu ada technician, tak perlu ada kru untuk tolong on, tolong off. Dia akan automatically running. Dan kemudiannya sistem keselamatan. Okey, wayang kulit ni ada sistem keselamatan dia. Dia ada MCB. Kalau ada kilat, kalau ada apa-apa short circuit, dia boleh cut off dia punya power. Dan satu lagi, kalau ada kemalangan, contohnya jari tersepit di antara pivot, di antara mechanical part, kita ada emergency switch. Kita boleh offkan dia dan dia akan shut down lah wayang kulit ni.
Maybe yang execution ni nanti dulu kot. Kita
okay, boleh.
On two different approaches towards the idea of wayang and bayang. Very interesting because I think we can clearly see two different ways of approaching almost the same reference to the tradition of wayang using shadow play. So maybe Fairuz is more interested towards the sociological dimension of what he's doing. Specifically, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, the educational dimension, the project, values, wisdom or local wisdoms. Okay. And then on Hakimi, perhaps due to his training in electrical engineering before he did his bachelor's in graphic com, it is more technical. Interpretation of wayang is more towards the technical, the instrumental aspect of it, kan. Jadi ada perbezaan pendekatan antara kedua-duanya. But now let's say we focus on Fairuz. First, my question would be, how did you became interested in orang asli? I know orang asli from my own, I'm not involved in orang asli, so I'm not going to claim anything. I've not been involved in any kind of orang asli project, so I'm not the person who can make any kind of claim. But I have a friend like Arwah Wan Zawawi, who did his, who is known, one of his expertise is on orang asli discourses. He wrote few articles and one book that I found very interesting, where he used what he told me, okay, because I look at him as my sociology guru lah. He used what he called people speak. Maybe Fairuz can take note. People speak in anthropological approaches where the researcher is not going to represent or sort of become a translator of the people that he or she is researching. Normally, anthropological approach is that the researcher kononnya objective and scientific and delivering a very objective research. This time around, the approach is where you allow the subjects that you are researching to basically talk and speak, and you learn from that. So I found quite interesting similarity between what Fairuz did with his orang asli kids and Wan Zawawi's book. I forgot the name, but he gave one book on Penang, orang Penang. Before he passed away, he posted the book. Before he passed away, he posted the book to me, and that book contained not only his short introduction. Everything was written, expressed, even drawings by the Penang people. Because that was one of the issues lah yang saya rasa interesting lah. Remind me of Wan Zawawi, because he's quite an authority in orang asli, and he has been working and interviewing and collecting a lot of people speaks data. Unfortunately, he passed away. Very, very, very sad. But it would be nice if you go and refer to his research lah. Plus, maybe from him you can find some of the names. Anyway, how did the idea of working with this kid came from?
Thank you very much, Hasnul. I'm gonna share my screen, if you don't mind. So, our project yang sebelum ni, before this orang asli punya project ni, we were working with sekolah menengah kids. Although the original idea was, I mean, it's still there, but the idea is always to work with underprivileged communities. So this is something, and then if you ask me why work with underprivileged communities, kenapa tak nak kerja dengan T20 communities kan? And that answer is quite simple, is because I feel that a lot of education punya access is very limited, you know. And when I say limited, I mean not only to in terms of access like internet, but also access of understanding the content, or the content is relevant to them in their lives, you know. So this is two different things, which I've always been struggling with lah, you know. And coming from, I think maybe you wanted to hear this in just now, this is the answer you're looking for, coming from parents who are educators. So it has always been part of my, kind of like my, how to say, macam, in the back of my mind, I'm always thinking about education somehow lah, you know. And my parents being educators for like 30, 40 years of their lives, they have always given me this kind of macam inspiration lah, and also kind of motivation to share, you know. Always sharing is a big thing in our family. Sometimes we overshare as well, but sometimes we cannot help but want to expand this idea of sharing knowledge, you know. So this sharing knowledge thing has been happening dah lama, tapi apa yang saya sebagai budak bandar pekan yang also have to say very privileged, because I have that kind of environment of education all around me, but I also noticed that a lot of education yang menarik, atau education yang experiential, atau education yang play is very limited.
Basic knowledge.
Yes.
Basic knowledge.
This is all limited to a certain amount of society, you know. And this is something I have always questioned about lah, you know. And this is also something I question about in my father's art, because my father, he's a painter, and his content is very Islamic art and very Muslim art. Tetapi he puts the works in galleries, you know, museums, you know, where certain amount of people cannot access, you know. So your content is about, you know, very generic, very holistic content, but only a certain amount of people can access this kind of art, you know. So I question that about his art, and now I'm questioning that about education as well. So when I talk about education, we try to think of ways to do workshops that can be accessed to all levels of society. But this is of course very ideal, because every society has different kind of issues, the kind of macam dia punya understanding and knowledge kan. So one of the hardest hitting communities, I would say lah, in Malaysia would be orang asli. You know, of course there are other struggling people as well in Malaysia, tetapi from my research is orang asli, because they this is orang asli Peninsula, bukan orang asli Sabah Sarawak. They are more majority of the population kan. Tetapi kalau di Semenanjung, orang asli yang kita kat Semenanjung ni, they are very terpinggir, you know. And this kampung that we went to also is one of those kampungs yang not, to be honest with you, they're not in the jungle. They have been displaced many times, so now they are kind of they're very near the road, a very big road.
They're more like what you said before lah, urban poor.
Urban poor tapi sangkut dengan hutan, you know. So they don't have the knowledge of urban poor yang kat KL. They don't have the skill sets of urban poor of people at KL, for instance, you know. So that there's disadvantage on many levels lah. So that's where this orang asli thinking from.
So I found that what Fairuz has been doing, based from what Faizwan Sudah have done, have written about, I think it's exactly following this kind of a very organic co-creation methods.
The kampung we went to was a kampung called Kampung Ulu Batu.
I pray for you to keep on engaging in this. I think the premise is already right.
Yeah.
Whatever you have told me about accessibility, the fact that we need to use the low tech, because we want the accessibility of the technology instead of just hit and run, come, and then go again. So all those, I think, are on the, as far as research and commitment and engagement is concerned, I hope you can keep on doing it, and I hope this can be sustained. I think you are on the right track. Yeah, just be careful about the politics around it, because the politics around it can be very vicious, kan? Okay, we don't want to leave Hakimi alone, but before we go to Hakimi, share dengan Hakimi, kan? Okay, before we go to Hakimi, maybe Pak Izwan, I want to bring in Pak Izwan. Pak Izwan,
Yes.
boleh
Yes,
komen sikit berdasarkan daripada pengalaman you tentang population ni, kan you boleh share sikit?
Alright. I share a little bit on my current project untuk my PhD study ya. So betul Prof Hasnul kata tadi, ada similarities between my study and Fairuz punya approach ya. So what I'm doing is that the first thing before I conduct a workshop or whatever hands-on activity with the community, normally I visit first satu ataupun dua kali ke community tersebut, selected community, and then after that we do the discussion, which is in my co-creation concept ataupun method. I have 4 different level. Number one is a co-experience where we share the experience. Normally kita mendengar apa yang community kongsi ataupun apa nama ni, kita basically the project saya ni lebih kepada melengkapi apa yang community perlukan, their needs untuk projek tersebut. And then nombor 2, co-definition ni kita define what type of projects, what type of activities that we want to do lah. So based on Fairuz punya study, I don't know where the wayang came from, whether the community memang nak wayang activity ataupun macam mana, itu nanti Fairuz boleh share lah. Tapi my approach is semua idea itu datang daripada community. Kalau community kata community memerlukan this kind type of project, mungkin mereka nak melihat lebih kepada now current technology yang budak-budak suka, aerial photography ke drone ke whatever, then barulah saya mencari rakan collaborator yang expert on the aerial photography. So daripada situ saya bawa
yang ada skill set tu kan,
yang ada skill set tu, baru di situ baru saya form a new team untuk specific project di kampung tersebut ataupun di community tersebut lah. So normally this kind of cooperation is not what facilitator wanted to do. Dia lebih kepada apa yang community perlukan. So daripada situ kita try to usahakan lah untuk keperluan mereka. Dan nombor 3 baru kita start the third phase tu yang kita panggil sebagai co-elevation. Barulah kita buat projek tu. Selepas projek tu kita jalankan, maybe 2 months after, 3 months after, then datang lagi satu lagi phase yang terakhir, iaitu co-development. Co-development is a reflection pada projek, monitoring whether they dapat the skill set itu, the lifelong learning dia orang dapat ke tidak, macam mana kita check balik lah. So it's not gonna be hit and run project ataupun one off project ke touch and go or whatever lah. So that's what my project is all about lah.
Thank you, Aizan. I appreciate everything you said. I think I should have talked to you long before I started my thesis.
It's okay.
But apa? It's okay.
We can use this as a platform for you to network, which is more organic. So the good thing about you bringing you here is that we can start to connect with other people as well. So maybe Pak Izwan can also connect with you, and Anderson also. So I want to go back to Hakimi. We don't want to leave him alone there.
Before you do that, can I quickly just put remind everyone, not remind, but there's a link I sent in the group chat. This is a group called Barokah Bless. Diorang ni sebuah kolektif di Johor Bahru. di mana dia membantu kanak-kanak street kids to get off the street because the parents are working dekat kedai pasar, and night. You know them, right, Jasna? Yeah. And what they do is they also do this co-design where the kids lah, maknanya budak-budak tu akan pilih apa nak belajar skateboarding ke, nak belajar 3D printing ke, nak belajar mengaji ke, and then they will have their own group. In WhatsApp group, he will go look for his collaborators or students atau even volunteers yang boleh mengajar, and they will come and teach for free every night dia ada kelas 8 to 10 o'clock. So these guys are doing a really great job by co-designing lah, maknanya the content of the studies that they want. Just to add,
they are more comprehensive. They are not just in the arts. Pak Izwan, maybe you can also check on that. But they are more comprehensive. They are actually central to what they do is education lah. But in terms of what subjects they are dealing with, they can go to geography, English, to the arts as well and design. So very, very comprehensive. They've been doing that a lot. Hakimi.
Yes.
Sorry, Hakimi.
Okay.
Hakimi. Hakimi. Sebelum ni, there are few projects within the visual art, few projects before that have been within the visual art context that have been using wayang concept. One of which I was there in Unimas called Wayang Virtual. Wayang Virtual, I think 1997, where they use two dalangs and two different musics battling each other. One digital dalang and one digital composer, and the real dalang behind the clay with a group of real actual music performers for Wayang Kulit. They were battling about the relevancy of digital technology and how digital technology can take away the keaslian of Wayang Kulit. So ada tak terfikir tentang potential retaliation lah from people who are more into the original version of Wayang Kulit? Did you, while you were developing the idea, did you meet anybody who is actually practicing Wayang Kulit? Ada tak jumpa sesiapa dan ada tak dapat respon sewaktu you buat research tu while you were developing your ideas?
So I have it. Okay. During research, everything going fine. Okay, there is no problem. But when the actual wayang, okay, the animatronic wayang complete. So when I upload to the social media, so start from that, the pengamal Wayang Kulit start commenting, start to critique my works. So for me, I think it's okay because critique also something to build my, my confidence. Then this is part of my experience doing this. Jadi pengamal wayang kulit tempatan, pengamal wayang kulit Melayu, dia okay, relax. Okay, dia tak apa-apa kan. So everything going fine lah, okay. Dan disokong daripada kita punya adik guru wayang, saya bertanya dengan Encik Jufri, kemudian saya ke Kedah, saya tanya apa tu, dia bukan anak lah tapi dia macam saudara yang terdekat dengan Pak Majid. Pak Majid tu bapa asuh wayang kulit. I don't know, maybe macam sepupu something like that lah, okay. Tapi dia memang banyak cerita lah kat saya kan. Then saya explain kat dia apa yang saya nak buat, dia okay dan dia bersetuju lah. Even Pak Asuh itu sendiri pun bukanlah wayang kulit yang asli. Okay, ini saya memang bukan saya statement daripada saya. Ini memang realiti dia sebab watak Atong, watak Etong, watak ada lagi yang seakan Pak Dogoy, Wak Long, okay, buat jenaka rempit, jenaka mengorat kan. Jadi itu dah lari dah daripada konsep asal tu. Tapi masyarakat menerima sebab dia satu yang refresh, okay. Daripada kita tengok wayang kulit yang menceritakan legenda Hindu, hikayat-hikayat yang lama kan. Jadi makin lama hikayat-hikayat tu dia menjadi semakin boring sebab jalan penceritaan dia, pembawakan dia sama. Jadi Pak Asun tu dia membawa satu nafas baru, dia buat pembawakan yang baru, dia cipta karakter baru. Jadi kat situ masyarakat Melayu okey, tapi berbeza dengan masyarakat Jawa, masyarakat Indonesia. Okey, sebab dia ni how to say dia betul rigid lah dengan dia punya budaya, dia punya tradisional kan. Jadi situ saya pun tak boleh berbuat apa-apa. So
wayang asun Pampoi Pak Makcik lah arwah. Saya pernah bawa ke Wayang Budaya tahun 2004 je tu saya. When I brought him to Wayang Budaya, you have to be careful with him because when you engage in a talk with him, you minum, you went to a restaurant with him, talking with him. If he found you very interesting, he will go into his repository of characters that look like you, and he will put you in his presentation. Saya Hasnul Jamal ni nak saya nak cakap sikit lah, saya tadi baru jumpa. No, be careful with him because he can immediately put you in his presentation. So that is wayang asun. It's very, but cakap utara. Tak cakap Kelantan. He speak in northern slang. Okay, I want to go to our final section, which is about, you can talk about your process, because we mentioned about process just now. I think you will do much justification for Fairuz and Hakimi probably to share the process. So maybe Fairuz can share the process, and then as what Anderson asked tadi, tangible results, and then Hakimi also tunjukkan I know yours is more technical, but we have to bear in mind that some of our students here, they are more interested in the technical aspect of what you're doing. Okay, the polemics that can also be discussed, but I think for you more into the technical things, because I think that is also very practical and very important. So I asked Fairuz first to share.
So what we did was there are two things that how we did this workshop. Even before we started doing the workshops, as I was mentioning earlier, we started off with a lot of conversations with the team, with our team and other people like public. So I used to have a lot of these public kind of online punya sessions lah with this guy kat bawah ni namanya Syak Koyok. He's also a temuan artist, so we got people from artist background, people who doing social work, people from theatre background, teachers, students, basically as many people as I could find lah yang nak setuju nak tengok kita punya presentation. Then after that we did online discussion, and I will ask everybody apa pendapat, adakah benda ni sesuai, is it the right direction, and everybody gives feedback, and then this feedback will be compiled. I will have my notes, I will have my audio recordings, and I compile them, and then after that I also did a lot of one-on-one interviews lah. Maknanya like I will have a Zoom session with macam a practitioner, an artist, and this is a sample of a conversation that I had. She is a media artist and lecturer in a school in Berlin. Dia mengajar puppetry, but her puppetry is more DIY, using found objects, looking at materials, exploring materials, and she has background in technical science engineering daripada MIT.
So Fairuz, rather than talking about it, you actually put the actual conversation in your thesis, in your main part of your thesis. Correct me?
Yes, I put an excerpt from an hour-long conversation I had with her. I put an excerpt of the conversation, but at the same time, at the bottom of it, I also put hold on, where is it? Mana tadi? Ni. I will have a kind of like a key takeaway. So this is like a summary of what the whole conversation was about, because I don't want to copy paste the whole 1 hour transcript, then no point. So I kind of summarized it lah, in what I thought was important in the conversation. But also this conversation is also important also, like, because it gives a kind of a feeling to the audience.
I saw a mind map. Was it a mind map before?
This one is not my map just now. This is actually a game that she designed. She designed a game that explore materials. and how to combine different materials together to create a story. I can talk about this in another session lah, but it's something that she designed that we adopted into our workshops with our own team first. So we as a team, internal team lah, we will do our own workshops together with each other before we do the workshops.
Can you after this forward?
Sure.
Maybe we can do a session with her.
Can. No problem.
Okay.
So we had, like I said just now, the discussions kan penting kan, but the workshops that we do internally as a team also very important because it kind of prepares us before we go for the workshops with the kids. Yeah. So having all this information dengan orang lain, interview dengan all this kind of Zoom sessions, baru kita plan lah, what to do. And this planning is like this lah, is a very simple 3-stage punya process, where the first stage, fasa pertama is called Hi Semua. Semua is temuan for hi everybody. So we spent about 2 weekends just learning about the activities. We went to see, I'll show you some photos lah, just understanding the context of the village first, and before we go into the bermain part, which is the phase number 2, this is the part where we actually do workshops and we explore materials, we explore stories, we explore objects that exist naturally in a village and objects that are not natural in a village, like trash, for instance, And then the third phase, which is to do a performance. And this performance is based on materials, based on the stories that came from the second phase lah. The project that we did with the kampung orang asli yang dekat Ulu Batu ni, we only managed to do first and second phase. Phase ketiga tak sempat sebab time wasn't on our side. Also, money and funding wasn't on our side. So we could only do 2 phases, and that was what I presented for my thesis lah. And the third phase, insyaAllah, we will complete it by the end of the year because we found some money, so and then now we are able to move on with that. And
maybe in the third phase also you include reflections, like something like a post-mortem or reflections from the participants. That would be very interesting to unveil lah, to dig out.
Yep.
So
Yep.
That will be the third phase lah.
Yes, I think you're correct in that, Hasnul. Because we don't have reflections from the kampung kids. We have reflection within our team. So like every time we do a program, okay, I'm going to show you an image here. Where is it? This thing. This is this graph here on your right here. It's called the action research model. This is something I discovered, along the way of my research. It wasn't something I found before and I followed it. It was something that accidentally happened, which is a cycle of planning, taking action, observe, reflect, and then replan. Action, observe, reflect, and then replan. So we did this secara tak sengaja already as a team, internally. Every time we did a workshop with the kids, we will have a plan. And then we, let's try this idea out, and then we tengok apa results here. And the results, always we have documentators in the group. Sometimes we hire people to come and shoot videos or photos, because we as a facilitator, we are not able to see everything while we are teaching, right? So the documentation is something that we collect, and then we look at it again, and then we discuss. After every workshop, we will discuss with the team and say, okay, how do we think about that session? Oh, tak best lah budak tu tak. Dia tengok phone, dia tak, okay, which kid was it? Oh, that kid yang baju biru tu ke? Then we identify which kids are engaged, which kids are not engaged, and then next week we try again, and we come up with, we try to do one of these every time after every workshop, So the next time we come to the workshop, we have another strategy, and then we try again. So it's like you said lah, and it's memang susah, and it's a thankless job, as you said. You are right, But the thing is, I have to remind myself and remind the team why we are doing this. It's not for us. So there's another
group long established who have probably done using action research approach in their projects. It's called Arts X. I think you know about that. In English.
Yeah.
So they have many. They have also published, I think, few. They have put documented in books probably. I think they use the same cycle, if I'm
Yeah.
not mistaken. They
Yeah.
use action
Yeah.
research method, which I think will be very helpful if you want it to be sustained. Then you can keep on improving. After you have done the reflection and evaluation.
Yeah.
So it's good, man. It's awesome,
Yeah.
man.
Okay.
I hope you got the money.
I have it. I think. So I'm going to show some photos because this is all text, kan, a bit boring. So this is the kampung, the entrance to the kampung, and there's a surau over here. I don't know whether you can see it, and then the mountains around it, and then this is also from inside the kampung facing outside. Okay, and these are the kids. They're very young, and these are the teenagers. You know, and they were supposed to be our target audience, but after a while they just quit because we were not co-designing the content or the workshop for them. So we had a problem there, you know. But anyway, so yeah, this is the team, this is some of us, and so this is the first part I was telling you guys about where we went with the Makcik. Her name is Makcik Mariam. She's over here, and we followed her to the dam, the Ulu Batu punya empangan. And then we asked her, can you show us, you know, what you usually do? You know? And she said, okay, saya hari ni nak pergi mancing, ikutlah. Okay, so we went with her to the dam, and we went fishing with her, you know. And then she showed us how to fish. She showed us how to use a pokok kayu bertam, macam mana nak pasang kail, how to, you know. She gave us a whole. She didn't step by step. She just did it, and we just watched from a side, you know.
That's the tacit knowledge, That's a passed down knowledge.
Yes, correct. So we have to watch and learn and ask questions, you know. So we did that, and then after that, we had some makan-makan dekat hutan. You know, we opened a fire, and then we eat all the fish. You know, I caught maybe about 4 fishes. She caught about 20. You know, so we wanted to also as a team learn and also be part of the process, not just tourists. You know, and just come and go. You know, and another part we did was masak-masak with the kampung. So this is the ketua kampung, and so we had a session with the kampung where we asked them to can we guys have a traditional dish? So there are 3 dishes that they cook. I forgot the name, like ikan baung masak sup daun semomo, benda lah. You can read in my thesis lah. We mentioned it, you know. And as we are learning from them, we are also sitting down. My team there, right there, Ayam Farid, he's also potong bawang. You know, we're all doing it as a collective. You know, not just again, this is the money, do a cooking session for us, let's eat, and then we chow. Tak, kita nak belajar juga. Sebab Ayam himself, my teammate, he's also very curious about the process. He also wants to learn. You know, so we are all coming from a very inquisitive and curious punya point of view lah. Not just tourists who are just, you know, want some images with them. So if you notice, I try to take not to be so the camera angle also doesn't shoot them in a way where it's like a tourist photo lah. Because this is all gambar documentation, you know. So we learn how to these pictures are the way we frame the photos is also very important lah, you know. So in this case, we are showing how this is apa benda ni. I don't know what this is. This is ubud dayas, if you guys know what that is. Masak with something. I forgot what the other something is. And then here is buluh. Kita masak nasi dalam buluh. We balut in daun daun lirik, it's called. This is what he's doing right here. He's departing the rice into the daun, then they put the daun into the bamboo, and then bakar, you know. So the nasi has this kind of lovely taste, you know, and I can show you more photos now, but we'll just stick with this one for now. And then once this kind of high semua session was done, we wanted I think somebody asked just now, I think just now cakap pasal this idea of performance like wayang kan. So wayang is not traditional to them. They don't have any kind of wayang background. They don't have any temuan lah. They don't have any background in performing arts like puppetry or mask or even patung. You know, temuan doesn't have this. This is Mak Mary punya tribe dengan Jahut punya tribe. Tapi so for temuan, they have dancing, they have the pakaian dia, but wayang is totally out of the kind of traditional punya canon of punya practice lah. So what we want to do was kind of like we also had this question: are we also colonizers in the sense that we are introducing wayang to a culture that has no wayang background? Are we also part of this kind of colonial punya perspective kan? So we open it up and say, okay, you know what? Let the kids decide what kind of wayang that they want to do. You know, but we obviously wanted to propose the most simplest, the most DIY-ish kind of wayang, which is wayang pakai cardboard lah, pakai kertas, pakai mengenai, So this is a performance. I can share you the video. We made me and Ayam and another friend of ours, we made a 20-minute performance for the kampung kids. And the performance was all the stories, all the characters that we saw during our fishing trip, during our masak trip, and we took all those knowledge or information that we gathered and turned it into a wayang performance. And the story was about this ular, nama dia ular temu bulan. It's a nocturnal snake, and the story was this snake was awoken during the day because kat rumah ni, dekat kampung tu ada big jalan that goes from Uliam to Batu Kes. Every weekend ke apa, ada motorbike, very big, loud, then bising lah. Saya pun, me and Ayam, we stayed the night in the sungai. We also terkejut because it sounded like thunder, like mana ni motorbike nak pergi Uliam, dekat tour lah, whatever lah. So the story is about this ular, dia terkejut, and then dia nak complain. Siapa nak complain? So he went down from the pokok and visit the whole he met a couple of characters in the forest, jumpa pokok bayas lah, jumpa ikan baung lah, jumpa Makcik Mariam lah, and everybody said, you must meet the ketua kampung. He will help you with this problem. So it was a very simple story from meeting from point A to point B, and just having this kind of story lah, so that the kids.
But the story based on input from the kids as well as what happened in the kampung itself. Correct.
This one is our story from from me and Ayam punya what you call this, our own kind of experience lah. Correct. So I don't know whether I should have prepared this earlier. I'm going to show you a short video of what happened after the show, because the performance is not just a performance to show the kids what they can do or show the kids what wayang is, but we wanted to do this thing. It was an after party, which is very important, because this after party, what we did was, I'm going to turn down the volume, where we invited the kids to come and hang out behind the screen, and then we let them play with the puppets. Okay, tengok je buat apa, kan? You suka tak main wayang ni? They go crazy, they go crazy, they go crazy, and then
they go crazy.
I really enjoyed this part, because at one point they started playing dangdut music, and then they turn on the speaker dengan dia punya smartphone, macam mana je sambung smartphone dengan Bluetooth, dia pasang dangdut, and the whole night they were just dancing and playing. Ni berapa orang ni? Sambil father there. Ni sambil father right in the middle there.
Yang pakai kopiah tu.
Dia dah minum lah, I rasa just no. Dia dah minum. So the kids loved it, and not only to have fun, but also we had some kids coming after the show. They came up to us and said, "Bang, saya nak belajar wayang ni, boleh ke bang?" That was what we wanted to gain, to get this kind of interest between the kids and
how long is the performance you did with Ayam? How long is it?
It was 20 minutes. It was just 20 minutes. Very short performance.
Can we see excerpt from it?
Okay, wait. Let me show you the website. Yeah, it's called Wasiat Bayas. And the story.
Maybe we see half of it.
Okay, I'm not sure whether the audio works. Does it work? But why not I just give you guys the link, and then you guys can watch it. You guys can watch it on your own. Kemana nak share ni?
You screen it dekat dewan ke, dekat rumah ke, kat mana?
We screen it in the surau of the kampung.
Pakcik tu joget.
Pakcik. Exactly. I mean, because I'll try to keep the story short lah. The kampung has a very interesting kind of Islam and animistic kind of boundary, macam camps. The ketua kampung, he's not Muslim. He's actually, but his daughter is Muslim. So in the kampung itself, you have not in the kampung, in the keluarga itself, you have this kind of very very fluid idea
even within the family.
Within the family, So when we did the workshops, memang interesting lah. Kerana masa tu puasa, and then kita biasanya bagi makanan after the show kan, after workshop. Tapi puasa tak boleh makan lah, kesian. But dia kata bukan Islam, tapi dia kena ikut sebab kita, so anyway, there's another story lah. So the performance was very DIY, just using cutouts kan. Tapi yang penting ni lah,
some part of it will be nice before we go to Hakimi.
I shared it to the group lah dekat chat ni. Kalau anybody wants can open it up, later they can watch it. Okay. And then so can I finish it up a bit more, Jasper? Because this performance is not the show. The idea was can you guys see my screen? Apa? Okay, wait. Okay, I'll quickly jump to the last part lah.
Okay.
So this performance, then we did workshops. We did content with the kids. We get the kids to design characters, design stories from those characters. We made wayang puppets 2D, and then we asked them to perform. Improvise those puppets using OHPs and all that, very DIY process. And then we asked the kids, okay, that girl in the tudung on the left, she's one of the orang asli kids. So we asked them to talk about her flower. That flower that you see on the right hand side, that's the design. So we asked the kid, apa watak bunga ni, apa minat dia, apa dia ni. So we get them to tell stories from their own designs.
Another one, Fairuz, another one, you can buy the strong portable, torchlight. You can get as large as that as well, rather than using OHP. So every one of them can have that torchlight.
Yeah. We had OHPs lah, so we pakai je lah apa yang ada kan. But after that, we started doing these very low-tech workshops, and then we started working with the kids to make DIY masks, pakai LED, pakai aluminium foil. You know what I mean? We wanted to make not puppet yet. We want to learn some skills. So we taught them about electricity, how to conduct electricity, how to sambung wire, very basic kind of electronics lah. Not very high-tech at all. And then we did some kind of conductivity tests. So we took all these objects that we think can conduct electricity and which one cannot conduct, and then pakai meki-meki. I think maybe some of you guys know what a meki-meki is lah. And then we made this kind of toys, musical toys, using trash, using stuff you can find in the kampung, and this stuff are attached to Arduino, is a meki-meki yang ke tengah ni, and then this thing connect to the tablet, and then when you touch the connector tu, dia akan keluar bunyi, and the bunyi is recorded from the kampung kids lah. So they will sing some songs lah, they will sing some poetry lah, apa benda lah. You tekan yang aluminium foil tu, keluar suara budak tu penyanyi, So it was a very basic kind of way to conduct electricity. And then after that, this is the classroom, ramai budak.
Where is this? Is this the day one?
No, this is the tabika, kemas. Kemas is the government punya tabika punya program kan. So they have one of these kemas in the kampung. But very sad story lah, because this one is not open to kids. It's only open to young tadika kids. They don't allow other kids to come in because another problem of benda hilang lah, benda kena curi lah, which is very rampant lah, So afterwards we started doing workshops on puppets that can move. So you look at this puppet ni, sebenarnya dia punya jari tu, yang dua tu, tangan tu, kalau you blow, he's blowing into it and the tangan will move. Dia macam those kind of by the side of the road kan, you have those kind of airmen. So we use like puppets. Then we also use getah lah, basic kind of wayang punya technique lah to make stuff move lah. So we taught three things. Things about light, moving light, things about sound, and things about movement. So this is light, this is movement, and this is sound. So the idea is to combine all those things into a puppet, into a wayang or whatever wayang lah you want to call, into a design that has those kind of elements. So this is an image of one of the puppets that the kids did. And these are all materials that we found around the village lah. But the idea is we want them to have a different kind of appreciation or a different kind of view of trash. This kampung, trash is everywhere. Trash is because problematic lah, because I think just now it's because their idea of biodegradable, dia punya nenek moyang punya konsep of biodegradable mungkin tak ditransfer lagi kepada diorang. So they think this container can biodegrade as a pokok pisang can biodegrade, they thought it can degrade, so they just buang, padahal tak boleh, so there is all this kind of issues of that in the kampung, and this is something that kita memang nak we are something that concerns us, and how we can look at materials not just from a recycle punya point of view, but also looking at materials as apa makna kalau kita campur kayu dengan bambu dengan LED, what kind of new life or new persona that this thing has once you combine these different elements together. Yeah, so that's the kind of a summary of the process.
Good.
So the next project, just the round is to do more of this, and to fine tune the workshop modules, to fine tune some of the way we teach, because we are every time we are changing. Dulu kita ajar macam top down, maknanya there's one person in front, all the kids sit down. That one doesn't really work, So then that's why we do this, where we break into small groups, and in small group to either one facilitator, and that one facilitator will facilitate three girls or 3 boys or whatever, and then they will have the same knowledge, same skills. They can to combine the efforts to do one project. This is something we found out along the way. After during the action research model tu kan, banyak kali kita buat, kita try, this works, but the top down, one person in front, that one does not work, The kids will run around, they get tired, they get bored, they just leave the class, So this one so far berjaya. So
very difficult to engage them, kan?
It is. So, but they come for the workshop. Some of them are asking, "Abang, hari ni belajar apa bang?" So we have a few of those kids who are really interested, who are always they want to do something, Tapi kadang-kadang kalau it's too difficult, they lepas tangan and give up, So how do we and we try to find a way lah to like, jangan give up. Okay, jom tengok, show me how you do it. Oh macam ni, patutlah salah, you kena buat macam ni. Pegang pisau tu jangan pegang macam ni, kena pegang macam ni. Cuba you buat. Kan boleh. So we have to do this kind of holding hand a lot, but I think that is something that they don't get in school, like in public.
Very hands-on lah. It has to be very hands-on.
It has to be hands-on, and literally hands-on, that we are actually holding their hand while we are doing the cutting, while we're doing the wiring, Because this puppet that you see here is actually a collaboration with the kids. So the kids can do the cutting of the cardboard, but they cannot do the wiring of the LED. Dapat kita abang buat. Tapi yang potong kepala tu, you buat. Okay, you buat. So there is always this. We try to make it 50-50 lah. So
the next phase, your third phase, would probably be exploring also. Once you have done all these characters, can be interesting for them to explore stories from them as well. Or maybe they can dig out their own stories from their folklore, like what Anderson said before. That's probably would be the next stage. That would be interesting.
Definitely.
So it's very organic. Pedagogically, it's not linear, and then it's not teacher-centered. It is very organic, very interactive, very consultative, and hands-on. Awesome, bro. Awesome.
Thank you.
Okay, we have very limited time. We want to conclude with Hakimi. Hakimi, boleh share your process? Maybe a bit technical, but I think it would be interesting to see what Hakimi went through in terms of the automation. Because we know automation is very technical, but it can also be interesting because potentially what Hakimi has done can also be incorporated into storytelling. It may not be related to Wayang Kulit at all. It can be totally different characters. It can incorporate characters designed by Fairuz's communities from the orang asli, and then they can come up with their story, and then Hakimi can sort of come up with a totally new project that may not have to do directly with the keaslian Wayang Kulit, but more into sharing stories kan. So Hakimi, I serahkan kepada anda untuk share proses ya.
Okay. But before that Prof, boleh saya shout out tak? Sementara masih sempat dan sementara ada masa ni dan saya takut nanti saya terlupa, boleh tak? Okay, so pertama sekali saya skip
Oh ini
jadi untuk menghormati
lah.
Ya, saya punya setting. Nanti saya akan patah balik ya, Prof. Jadi untuk menghormati masa, saya nak shout out dulu sebab ini saya rakam. Okey, jadi setidaknya saya boleh cut bahagian ini dan saya boleh bagi kepada orang yang paling bermakna lah bagi saya untuk menjayakan projek ni. Jadi basically saya dapat grant daripada Cendana, okey. Jadi ada empat kali lah, okey, bagaimana dana ini disalurkan. Jadi saya mengalami sedikit masalah kewangan lah, okey. Jadi memang struggle waktu ni. Jadi saya berterima kasih kepada keluarga saya. Ibu saya, adik saya. Ini Abang Sulung. Dia ni producer tapi dia tak ada di sini lah, okey. Ini abang yang kedua. Ini adik saya, dia dah kahwin. Even though mereka ni struggle lah sebab kita ni dari B40, keluarga B40 kan. Anak saya dengan anak kecil kembar dia struggle, tak ada masa tapi still boleh support sementara sempat ni kan, sebelum masa habis, sebelum saya terlupa ni kan. Jadi
bro, teruskan. Don't worry about the time. Don't worry.
Okey, jadi dekat sini sebenarnya saya dah prepare dah slide ni. Okey, jadi dekat bahagian proses ni ada banyak item, okey. Jadi untuk saya kongsikan semua untuk webinar pada kali ini, saya ingat mungkin tak cukup masa. Jadi mungkin selepas ini kita boleh buat lagi sekali dengan very focus group lah, okey. Yang mana yang minat kita akan buat satu lagi lah webinar, okey. Khas untuk teknikal saja, okey.
Yes.
Alright.
Okay, dalam banyak-banyak ni, which one that you think is the toughest one, is the most difficult one?
Teknikal lah, okey. Bagi
Elektronik,
mechanical. Mechanical. Okey, ini tak payah buang masa. Okay, ini
interesting.
Ni impresi artis, okey. Bagaimana kalau wayang saya ni dijalankan di Himbas lah, okey. Ini dikuatkan dalam proposal Cendana dekat sini, tapi disebabkan masalah itu ini berdebing berbau semua, jadi kat sinilah. Terima kasih Prof sebab sediakan tempat kepada saya untuk letak saya punya artwork. Terima kasih. Okey,
kita orang selalu jadi second and third choice tapi kita terima.
Okey, saya memang agak terhutang budi lah, okey. Reka bentuk dan fabrikasi.
Okay, this one I saw something like a 3D print. Did you do 3D print?
Yes, Prof. Okay, basically saya dah banyak kali kalau kita tengok dalam saya punya Facebook group, dalam saya punya IG, saya ada share link untuk saya punya development log. Okay, so devlog lah nama dia. Jadi kat situ saya sudah siapkan 5 episod daripada from scratch, daripada dia punya introduction, dia punya initial idea sampailah ke yang later sekali saya buat casing lah. Saya pasang plywood pada bahagian frame tu. Okay. Okay, next slide. Okay, saya yang ini lakaran ni saya buat pakai SketchUp. So ini saya briefly ceritalah software yang saya guna. Okay, ini memang well known software.
Yes.
Okay, so macam inilah saya punya proposal, macam inilah saya punya sketch, okay, untuk dapatkan dana. Okay, so basically macam ni. Idea dia dua performance dalam satu masa. Satu menengok dan satu lagi memperhatikan. Yang di belakang ni, this group people ni, dia menyaksikan persembahan wayang kulit. Dan orang yang di belakang pondok wayang kulit ni, dia memerhatikan pergerakan. So dia ada dua show dalam satu masa. Okay, so inilah.
So it's actually 360 degree.
Yes, betul. So macam one stone kills two birds lah dalam kan. Right. So ini saya punya inspiration lah untuk saya buat karakter. Okay, kemudiannya ini lakaran mechanical awal. Okay, masih lagi tak ada detail apa, just roughly macam tu. Okay.
That one you scan from the original or you redraw balik?
Ya, ini saya just Photoshop lah. Saya letak karakter atas dia. Betul. Okay, kemudian yang ini pula untuk mechanical part saya guna Fusion 360. Okay, ini saya akan start sharing lah. Okay, saya tak pasti kalau ini memberi macam mana. satu benda yang interesting ataupun tak, okay, sebab saya terlalu teknikal, jadi saya takut dia akan memberikan kesan boring kepada audiens, tapi saya just go through lah, okay. Okay, so ini saya punya mechanical design, okay, yang ini linear rail, okay, yang inilah dia punya frame di mana semuanya berpakukan di sini, dia punya base, okay.
Okay, this one you 3D print the whole thing.
Yes, betul. Kecuali aluminium.
You crazy, man.
Okay. So ini nama dia aluminium extrusion ataupun kita panggil aluminium profile. Size dia 20x20 tapi panjang kita boleh tentukan lah, okay. Kemudiannya ini cover. Ini saya punya testing rig, okay, untuk saya test slider. Nampak kan sini cursor kan? Nampak kan sini highlight? Okay, alright.
Yeah.
Okay, ini
So these
saya
are
punya,
all for to hold and to move the characters kan?
ya, betul. So ini basically ada 2-3 version lah. Ini version yang pertama. So kalau kita tengok dia punya fan, cooling fan saya letak kat tepi, tapi yang dia punya final result saya alihkan lah. Seperti mana yang kita tengok dekat museum tu kan. Ini dia punya holder dia. Okay, untuk dia punya slider move masuk keluar daripada stage. Okay, kemudian ini cover untuk elektronik. Okay, yang ini saya rasa interesting part lah to share. Okay, yang ini yang paling susah sebenarnya.
The rotating one.
Okay, so ini adalah dia punya base. Okay, so ini dia punya tapak yang saya highlight ni. Tapak. Kemudian dekat sini ada roller untuk dia slide pada aluminium profile yang ini. Aluminium profile ni. Okay.
Oh.
Okay, dalam ni ada dia punya holder. Kemudian dekat sini ada bearing, besar juga bearing dia. Later on saya tunjuklah dalam slide bearing yang saya pakai. Ini servo motor. Okay, so plan asal saya nak beli Power HD, itu bagusnya brand lah, dia lebih silent, tapi masalah saya pilih brand lain tapi still in good quality lah. So that's why saya punya wayang play berhari-hari pun still no problem because
Bro, sorry, before you share further, aku nak tanya soalan bodoh.
Okay.
You copyright tak benda ni?
Tak.
Jangan tunjuk lagi.
Bagi saya tak apa.
Aduh, ni semua Fairuz kau memanglah rakyat Malaysia yang begitu baik ya. I think jangan lama sangat. We skip lah this one. I don't want people to see too much lah.
Okay.
I think you have to keep it lah. Bro, you go and copyright first, bro. So many kaki cilok around the world now. Man, you are crazy. This one is all electrical engineering. But it's amazing lah.
So tapi
continue.
pada awalnya saya fikir ini untuk learning process kan. So saya just sharing lah, tapi tak apalah, saya continue je lah.
Aku takut lah kena cilok kan.
So basically lah, bila main dengan mechanical ni, dia main dengan fizik, dengan matematik lah, itu yang dia lah, okay. So yang paling basic sekali trigonometry lah, okay, need to master, okay, sin, cos, tan, alright. So maths, okay, primary school.
So this one she design it lah.
This one ni from Yayau kita, komik artis. So dia tolong saya untuk hasilkan watak wayang kulit. Sebab saya tak ada masa untuk cipta
Yes.
Kan. Saya cuma bagi reference dan dia kena reimagine dan dia kena came up dengan dia punya idea lah. Tapi saya sangat suka lah dengan dia punya idea. Okay. So basically dia buat ni dalam sekali je saya approve, tak ada no rejection. Okay, so dia memang power lah. Okay. Right, so macam Fairuz cakap tadi, Arduino in Germany low technology, okay, still traditional electronic things, okay, but for me Arduino is quite tough lah for advanced programming, and Arduino ni dia still reasonable, harga murah dan banyak potential dia, macam-macam dia boleh jadi. It's based on our knowledge lah, how to program it. Apa yang kita nak dia jadi, kita program it dan dia jadi. Banyak tinggi potential dia. Right, so this one
Is it expensive?
Yang made in China punya bawah RM20 lah, agak lebih kurang dalam RM18 lah untuk satu board. Tapi yang original one harga lebih kurang dalam RM109. Okay, dia main dalam 100 ke atas lah harga dia. Yang original from Italy, yang ada peta Italy di belakang board tu, right, yang developed by Massimo Banzi. The guy that the first guy develop Arduino. So this one quite interesting lah, because during my time there is no Arduino, everything going manually, but this time got development board. Senang, cucuk testing, program testing, jadi tak jadi kita program lain, tengok jadi ataupun tak. So senang lah. Okay, ini pula dia punya casing untuk elektronik. Dalam ni ada Arduino, ada motor driver. Okay, so motor driver ni saya pakai motor NEMA 17, so dia cepat overheating. Sebab tu saya letak fan dekat setiap dia punya controller. Jadi basically computer send signal to Arduino translate my signal, then baru dia akan translate ke movement, how much degree of movement. Okay, sebab benda tu kita kena program. Kalau kita tak program, kalau dia terlebih pusing, dia akan rosakkan wayang kulit lah. Dia akan patahkan plastik, dia akan patahkan linkage, joint. Jadi kita kena ada limit, dan kita kena ada tolerance. How many percent tolerance tu yang dia boleh hold. Kalau lebih tolerance tu, dia akan rosak lah part wayang kulit tu. So this one kita kena programming lah. So programming ni dia berulang-ulang kali lah. Kita buat sekali, kita tahu masalah, refine. So sampai sekarang lah saya belum habis lagi kerja refine. Sebab itu kalau Prof tengok saya ke museum kan, Prof tengok saya buka laptop tu kan, itu kerja refine tu.
Define the programming lah.
Betul, refine bagi dia cantik lagi.
Yes.
Okay, sebab programming yang waktu saya bawa masuk ke museum, dia still rough, dia masih lagi kasar. Kita nak perhalusi lagi. Okay, so bila kita tengok movement tu, pergerakan tu, bagaimana dia bergerak, so kita dapat detect lah dia punya problem. Dekat situ kita perhalusi lagi. Dia punya mungkin micro step, berapa lagi degree yang perlu kita ubah. Okay, so dia continuous punya proses lah. Okay.
Proses.
Sampai saya dapat satu tahap yang betul-betul stable, sweet point lah. Dia tak terlalu sendu, dia tak terlalu boring, dan dia tak terlalu agresif. Kalau agresif dia akan rosak. Kalau dia terlalu boring lah kan. So dia kena ada between that point lah. Okay.
Yes.
Alright, so ini motor. So ini saya punya final motor lah, yang warna biru ni, SPT. Okay, ini saya punya motor during prototype. Idea saya memang nak buat besar lagi guna motor ni, tapi disebabkan dia heavy dan dia consume lot more of power, so saya terpaksa scale down kan dia lah. Ini motor stepper motor. Ini yang dua ni servo, nama dia servo motor. Ini stepper ni kita boleh set dia punya degree, sama juga macam servo. Cuma basically servo ni banyak guna dalam RC, banyak guna dalam permainan, RC card, enthusiast punya kan. So banyak pakai dalam ini. Yang ini banyak dah pakai dalam robot lah, dalam mesin lah, NEMA 17. Saya terpaksa tunjuk plastik ni sebab dia melekat. Saya tak boleh nak cabut sebab saya design dia tight fit. Once sekali kita press, memang dia melekat. Jadi dekat situ kita boleh kurangkan error lah, kita kurangkan masalah kalau dia loose apa kan. Jadi design dia memang saya tight fit. Kalau saya nak buka, saya kena burn lah yang ni. Saya kena tembak heat gun dan saya tarik lah. Okay.
So that one also you design it, you have to customize it.
Yes. Dan design dia ada dekat yang dalam tadi tu yang saya explain, yang Prof tak bagi explain tu.
Panjang lah ya. A lot of customization kan.
Betul. So ini adalah koleksi skru lah. So saya cuma pilih 3 size skru, M3, M4 dengan M5. So M3 paling pendek 5mm, paling panjang 55mm, M4 paling panjang 30, M5 60. Okay, so M5 for frame, nak bagi rigid sebab M5 tu dia besar dengan untuk dia punya roller. Dan untuk M3 untuk benda yang halus-halus, dia punya joint, dan sekali dengan lock nut lah. Itu nut dengan nylon insert supaya bila dia bergerak, nut tu dia tak akan terbuka sebab nylon tu dia grip screw punya thread. Okay. Alright, so ini sebenarnya devlog lah, saya go through lah laju lah. So ini proses cari idea. Okay, saya pergi muzium bersama ambil gambar. Ini proses
That log, by the way, is development log adik-adik, our students. So
akan buat perincian lah.
To document your process is to have a log. You do development log. Okay, silakan.
Okay. Alright, okay, ini design untuk karakter. Okay, daripada sini kita boleh analyse lah angle of movement. Okay, berapa panjang linkage yang kita perlukan. Kita design dan kita boleh test dalam Fusion 360 macam ni. Okay, so senang sikit lah kerja. Sebab dia boleh buat simulation kan. Okay, then bla 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 bla. Okay.
This one is accessible publicly?
Yes, sini public boleh buka saya punya YouTube lah, ada channel Kimi Hobby nama dia. Nanti saya share dalam chat box.
Alright.
Okay. Ini episode 1 lah. Semua ada 5 episod setakat ni. Nanti akan adik lagi lah.
But it's good, you have a log of your own project, so people can refer back and see what process you went through kan.
Okay, yang ini adalah 3D printer yang terpaksa saya sacrifice, terpaksa saya buka untuk buat ujian. Sebab saya tak ada duit untuk beli barang waktu ni. Jadi 3D printer ni dia okay, boleh on, cuma saya jarang pakai. Jadi saya ambil lah dia punya part. Okay, dan saya do the testing lah. Okay, saya tengok dia punya roller okay tak okay kan, dia punya sliding dia tu. Okay, ini benda yang saya nak emphasize lah. Kaliper memang benda yang penting lah, okay, untuk kita ambil ukuran. Sebab yang ni dealing dengan real life punya objek lah. So, kurang kena precise lah. Kalau saya susah sangat, kalau susah sangat nak dapat ukuran yang precise, ya just Google it lah. Tapi mostly yang branded punya stuff, kita ada website dia. Senang kita nak refer dia punya dimension, dia punya diagram dia. Tapi kalau yang read off yang China punya barang, okey, sebab saya pun tak ada duit, pakai yang read off pun dah cukup. Kita terpaksa buat manual lah, okey, untuk cari dia punya ukuran. Okey, ini makrometer memang teman baik untuk design. Yang ni student product design memang akan familiar lah dengan benda-benda ni. Okey, ini bla 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 bla. Okay, ini dry box. Ini saya punya ni lah 3D printing punya
kuat dan
lah.
juga elastik. Seterusnya, setelah selesai proses ini, saya terus kepada proses.
Okay, saya menepek pun ni. Okay. Okay, ini design karakter. Okay, ini slicer punya program macam mana untuk output kepada printer. Ini 3D printing punya proses. Ini projek, ini motornya bracket lah. Dia punya material dia TPU. Okay, so dia rigid lah, TPU dengan nylon. So dia kalau kita bending pun dia tak patah. Okay, ini karakter prototype. Ini untuk saya test lah. Okay, main-main dengan dia, tengok macam mana smooth tak smooth. Okay, right. So ini testing lah, tengok macam mana okay tak okay kan. Ini just static only. Okay, dia duduk dalam satu tempat only. Saya belum lagi move masuk keluar. Okay. Okay, ini dia punya rig lah. Okay, rig untuk testing. Okay, ini dia punya ini baru siap satu karakter lah. So ada lagi 3 karakter saya kena buat. Okay. Basically yang susah dekat design karakter lah. Tapi untuk programming dengan mechanical stuff, kalau satu tu dah solid cantik, memang dah jadi, kita boleh duplicate lah. Tapi untuk duplicate, untuk make sure benda tu perfect, even kalau terlari 1mm pun, saya terpaksa redesign dan print balik. Sebab nanti saya nak kena duplicate 3. Kalau satu saya buat silap, saya nak kena buat correction kepada 3 yang lain. Jadi untuk satu yang testing tu make sure betul-betul cantik lah. Kemudian senang untuk duplicate. Okay, ini proses potong dia punya aluminium profile. Okay, so dia
You buat kat mana you punya workshop sendiri?
Saya punya workspace. Ini yang sekarang ni di belakang ni, ini menjadi background lah kepada saya punya devlog.
Episod 2.
Ini episod 2 recording. Okay, ini untuk company recording company ni saya masih lagi
So ini pergi kat Watlong
betul, Watlong. So yang jadi dalang ni Encik Mursyid, ini adik guru kita lah, Encik Jufri. Okay, dan bersama dia punya team dan pelajar dia. Okay, ini saya punya ni lah sound engineer yang record. So basically kita ambil sound instrument by instrument. Kemudian baru kita buat mastering. Kita bukan ambil the whole sound
sekali.
Betul. So
it's a proper recording lah.
Betul. So jadi setiap instrument ada dia punya their own microphone.
Yes.
So that's why lah I still hutang.
Tak apa.
Okay.
Hutang ni setengah orang.
Just sharing session lah. So just sharing So this is the software that this engineer use. Okay, this is a mixer.
How long this one the whole thing until yang you dah set up? How long?
Almost 1 year lah. Siap semua. Okay, so settle recording. Ini pula bahagian dah siap print, dah siap design, kita proses pasang pula. Okay, so ini saya pasang lah by hand lah. Ini background ni, ini background yang sekarang saya duduk ni lah, meja yang sekarang saya duduk ni. Okay, so yang ni baru siap satu jadi saya kena ulang proses yang sama.
During the whole process ni, you don't have any assistant or whatever?
Because I doesn't have money to pay them.
Fairuz have many friends, Fairuz. So you need to have more friends. Fairuz have so many friends that he didn't have to pay.
Namanya internship, Hakimi. It's called
So you need to get internship. So start promoting cognitive lab, requiring internship students. So I mean, your knowledge should be transferred, bro.
Before this, I got 2 student internship, but you know the MCO thing, so I stop ni lah.
So I think this one definitely, I think you have to open up internship because they can learn so many things and they can learn a lot. If you can receive students from electrical engineering or those who study robotic. Okay.
Alright, so this is a process. Ini yang saya tunjuk tadi, punya bracket dah tu. Then pasang. So ini baru satu jadi saya nak kena ulang untuk lagi 3 lagi.
3 berapa karakter? 4.
4. Okay, alright. So machine 3D printer
So
pun
kalau saya nak design karakter baru ke apa ke, you kena replicate the whole process again lah.
Basically dia punya base tu dah ada design.
Cuma karakter saja.
Betul.
So so meaning that it's quite modular lah. We can change the character.
Betul.
We just have to print the character lah.
Okay, so for this setting ada 2 traditional, 2 modern. So it's up to us lah nak tukar macam mana pun. Sebab dia modular. Okay, sekejap lagi saya tunjuk macam mana modular dia tu. Kita boleh cabut karakter tu. Okay, itu next video.
So yang ini Fairuz boleh cilok ni. Fairuz boleh letak budak-budak orang asli punya karakter tu letak kat sini kan. And then come up with your own story. And then boleh buat collaboration with all good. Tengok je.
Okay, so ini bahagian 4, basically bahagian elektronik lah. Okay, so soldering thing. Okay, blah 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 blah. Put the component, put the everything. Okay, this one power supply. Okay. Dan agak problem juga dengan circuit ni. Sebab selepas ada problem, saya kena buat circuit analysis lah. Dia nak kena analyse balik. Tengok dia punya the signal kan, macam mana dia punya wave kan. Is it got distortion, interference, okay. Tapi sampai sekarang, okay, actually still got interference, but that one minor problem lah, okay. Sometimes kalau Prof tengok saya punya wayang kulit tu, dia ada satu movement yang saya tak program pun, tiba-tiba dia buat, okay. So that is what we call it interference lah, okay.
So that one is interference, bukan disengajakan lah.
Betul. Ada yang diprogram, ada yang interference. Jadi sebab ini kat kos punya barang kan.
I know.
Dan kita pun route kabel sekali dengan power cable. So bila ada power draw yang tinggi, so dia akan interfere dengan signal kabel. Yang ni maybe next webinar lah saya go into theory.
Yes.
Ini just rough rough idea lah.
Because you
Hakimi, yang ini stage ni kita boleh tukar daripada karakter lah.
Boleh bro.
Oh, I tell you, boleh jual ni.
Betul, dia tak copyright. Dia baik sangat. Aku
Weekend.
heran lah seniman zaman sekarang ni. Jagalah diri.
Tapi saiz pentas tu kita boleh expand ataupun dia standard, Hakimi?
Kita just ubah size frame. Yang lain semua still remain sama lah, dia punya komponen.
Okay, because what happen is kalau nak pergi travelling ataupun pergi ke touring kan, dan because kita nak identify dia punya space of the van ke, boleh install ke dalam ke kan.
Basically kereta lah, kata kereta lah.
Yes, kalau touring kan, because kita boleh buat multiple stories, because your technical, memang you kaki technical ni saya cakap ni. Tapi kalau kita design satu story, kita buat minimal punya pergerakan, how long you gonna take? Berapa lama you gonna program the whole thing?
Untuk program movement lebih kurang dalam 2 ke 3 minggu lah untuk movement sajalah, untuk cantikkan movement kan.
Okay. Because what happen is you are very very technical lah. Okay. 2-3 minggu, bro.
Ya betul.
Okay lah, tak apa. Nanti Hasnul akan call line lah nanti.
Ya, aku nak pandang dengan Fairuz punya material. Kan, so material tu must be, material dia tu, content dia tu must be awesome kan. I mean, this is a tool macam science lah kan, antara the technical part dengan the artistic part. So technical part pula you design sendiri. It's not like we go just buy something, it's like the whole thing you design sendiri. So it's like from bottom up.
Tapi this one is brilliant bro, because there's I think the team is perfect, is complete, because there are multiple ways for us to skin the cat kan, because there are so many potential. So the content can come from Fairuz, the technical expert teams come from Hakimi. So we can just brainstorm the content. I tell you, this time I think Fairuz don't sell to cendana, jangan jual to anybody. Because please don't, because what happen is, trust me, because I can see the potential already.
Ada wakil cendana kat sini kan, apa dia?
I tell you, this is brilliant lah bro. Because you combine.
Ini apa ni? Ni apa pula bro?
Ini proses pasang tutup dia punya frame ni. Yang macam Prof tengok tu. Betul.
Yang ni kau pakai apa?
Ini plywood 3mm yang ada layer putih tu.
Untuk mereka tu.
Ya betul. Kemudian ini proses,
Inilah problem macam tadilah, kita durability and then reusability kan.
So ini still lagi pakai uniform kerja, balik kerja terus buat kerja.
Kalau packing semua masuk dalam satu bag yang boleh travel dalam kapal terbang, tu pun kena fikir juga.
Betul. Ini
kalau campak pun boleh.
Dan ni memang one of objektif. Sebab itu saya punya plan asalnya mula-mula nak buat besar. Lepas tu saya scale down nak buat dalam 3 kaki lebih. Tapi bila buat 3 kaki lebih, dia macam tengok TV kecil kan, macam tak best pula. Jadi saya saya fikir-fikir balik, saya tengok balik. So saya last kali saya decide panjang dia 5 kaki, lebar dia 2 kaki. Jadi memang
Kimi, boleh panjangkan lagi tak daripada 5 feet to 7 feet? Boleh tak? Boleh extend?
Boleh.
So makna no issue lah. Makna boleh extend to 10 feet?
Yes, boleh.
Oh, brilliant. Okay, thank you, man.
Ini framing tu. Ini kena panjangkan.
Ini boleh panjangkan.
Kalau you panjang, benda ni kena panjang.
Betul.
Oh, brilliant.
Benda ni nak pasang bro. Nak pasang.
Okay.
Kalau sekarang ni kalau kau buka, benda ni kena in one set kan. Tak boleh buka.
Ni boleh ni dia mesti lagi modular. Yang ni yang saya nak explain ni. Kalau Prof tengok dekat sini, karakter ni hilang, tak ada. Maknanya karakter ni saya cabut seketul.
Yalah.
Untuk saya pasang.
Yalah.
Jadi kalau ada changes karakter, saya boleh just plug in je lah. So settle.
So now that is the maximum length dia lah. Tapi yang itu boleh panjangkan kalau you nak kan.
Kimi, boleh can you show us the look of the stage of the full film?
Yeah, the last part.
Itu next slide. Okay, so ini proses pasang ni lah, pasang plywood bagi cantik lah. Okay, just macam ni sajalah. Just time lapse.
Dia pakai Mursyid Andy Mursyid pun tak ada skrip, dia pedal je bro.
Betul.
Okay. Brilliant.
Mursyid pun dia ambil angin sikit dan dia pedal je. So satu take je kan.
This is brilliant lah. This is brilliant because it can travel anywhere.
Betul lah, lori boleh, kapal terbang boleh. Kapal terbang lah paling brutal sekali, dia main campak je kan. But if you can do that, can we see the final
one
the final stage. The final stage. Macam mana dia nampak? Macam mana how does it look? Kimi.
Okay, so this one sampah-sampah yang terhasil daripada macam ni lah final dia. Okay.
Do you have a video?
We ada video. So basically dia punya plan asal dia macam ni tau. Dia ada pondok cantik macam ni, tapi so
ini kau turut ini bro, kau suruh kau minta Usni buat lah. Yang pondok tadi tu. Apa bro? Kita boleh tolong, Usni ada ni.
Nanti saya menambahkan beban nanti.
Tak ada beban. Tanya Fairuz, itu guna kawan. Tanya Fairuz, awak ada kawan pergi makan. Ya. Internship buat pondok. Boleh kita boleh buat, tapi kena buat modular lah, something that you can have.
So yang ni maksimum je bro, Kimi. Yang ni maksimum je. Dia punya
ini boleh widekan lagi. Yang ni pun saya sebenarnya boleh widekan lagi lebih kurang dalam 8 inci.
8 inci.
Tapi saya dah design macam ni. So nantilah saya ubah.
So mana dia punya format is all 16:9 lah kan?
No, ini plan asal 4:3.
4:3 lah?
4:3. Kalau kita tengok ni 4:3 ni.
4:3 zaman RTM bang. Okay,
betul.
Tapi makna kita boleh panjangkan lagi skrin tu kan? Boleh tak?
Betul. Saya still nak orang kata nak still authentic dia tu. TV
dia
tu.
4:3 lah. Zaman RTM lah.
You know the CRT kan for LCD kan. Macam tu.
Tapi kalau kita nak buat cinematic punya structure, mana dia punya boleh wide kan?
Betul. Boleh lebarkan lagi lah.
Brilliant.
Ini kalau boleh lebar, yang ekstrimnya lebar ni sedap ni.
Standard bro, ini kena full wide screen.
Panjang kan? Panjang panoramik kan? Macam-macam.
Okay, so
Can you show the video?
The video, okay, sekejap
yang boleh dengar siapa Mursyid apa.
Sekejap. Ada, tapi dalam saya share lah saya punya IG Saya ada, tapi korap dia punya file. Sekejap
Nampak boleh buat work
Apa dia?
Sampah ni boleh buat work. Boleh buat patung ni, sampah ni. Sampah plastik.
Tu bagi kat Fairuz jadi je.
Plan tu nak recycle tapi okey lah.
Bagi kat Fairuz. Fairuz boleh bawa dekat anak-anak buah dia dekat Selangor tu. Bawa ke mana tu.
Tak, saya nak tambah sikit lah komen kalau boleh.
Sila Fairuz, silakan.
Boleh.
Saya sangat tak ambil lah. Kau punya projek ni memang gila lah. Especially kalau one man show macam ni. I mean you have your team tapi you memang design, you buat, you potong, you screw, you program. Itu memang satu kerja yang tak healthy sebenarnya buat seorang. Sebenarnya tak sihat tu. Kena buat ramai ni. Tapi one thing I yang komen tadi yang you cakap pasal interference tu kan. Yang dia tiba-tiba keluar movement yang tak diprogram tu. Saya masa you cakap tadi I teringat semangat. Kan wayang ni kan ada je punya semangatnya.
Betul.
Kita ni dalang ni sebenarnya vessel sahaja. Benda tu hanya dah ada je punya semangat kan. So bila benda ni bergerak secara sendiri, interference tu saya teringat lah dia punya konsep. Benda tu sebenarnya material tu sebenarnya mungkin dalam elektronik tu, dalam dia punya signal dia tu, dalam dia punya energi dia tu terkeluar dia punya PCB board punya sifat, terkeluar dia punya dia punya nylon punya sifat terkeluar kat situ lah, mana tahu kan. So itu mungkin could be something interesting to also consider lah, sebab kita ni buat performance kan. So kalau performance tu tak ada maksud perfect, tak ada maksud 010101 tu bukan performance, itu sudah berbeza kan. Sebab wayang ni memang improv tu penting. Dia punya not kesilapan, tapi dia punya area yang ada spaces untuk grey area tu memang menarik. So
nuances, dia punya nuances dia kan.
Dia punya nuances tu menarik. So I think kalau itu pun nak explore tu, I rasa menarik. Sebab especially like macam kalau Kamal Sabran kan, saya pun banyak bercakap dengan dia pasal teknologi elektronik kan, dan dia suka melihat objek-objek macam doorbell tu, dan dia buka doorbell tu dan dia cuba cari apa dalam circuit board doorbell tu yang tak digunakan untuk wasn't made to be used, tapi dia mencari dalam PCB board tu apa yang sound yang wujud dalam benda tu yang tak sepatutnya wujud tapi wujud. Dan dia mencari secara like investigator lah, apa kalau aku sambung kat sini apa keluar, sambung kat sini apa keluar, keluar bunyi ni, bukan bunyi dengung tapi music. Tiba-tiba dia cakap aku ada lagu dalam doorbell tu, tapi doorbell tu sebenarnya ding dong je bunyinya. So dalam objek tu ada dia punya own life lah, ada dia yang terkeluar kan. So aku bila aku cakap interference tu, aku nak tengok interference dia macam mana. I would like to see apa yang dibuat kan. Mungkin menarik.
Kimi kena also add some grey areas in the programming kan, where accidents can happen. But without destroying.
Sebab problem interference ni saya sebenarnya dah ada solution. Cumanya nak repair tu belum ada masa yang sesuai lah kan. Sebab saya nak kena bawa saya punya tools, saya punya solder iron, wire kan.
Can we play this ni? Ada sound tak yang ni?
Ya, yang ni ada.
Ayolah Cik Ali, awaklah hari ni abang terasa lapar sungguh-sungguh. Oh abang, bukan nak kata abang hari ni Cik Ali tak boleh nak masak apa abang oi. Beras tak cukup ya abang oi. Oh ya ke beras tak cukup abang Cik Ali? Bukan abang beli dah ke cukup beras baru ni. Abang tak tahu ke beras ni harga pula abang oi. Abang tak tahu ke beras ni harga pula. Abang tak tahu lah beras ni berapa pula harga. Naik banyak pula abang. Beras 5 superfine tu pun naik pula harga abang oi. Allah sedih. Abang ni bukan nak kata ni kerja siang malam. Siang buat kerja, malam buat kerja. Oh yalah. Ayolah Cik
pandangan depan lah ni.
Amin.
Kalau kita dari
Awak,
belakang.
iyalah juga. Nanti mereka gelak kat kita, tak ada handphone, tak telefon anak kita. Tidak apa abang kita yakinlah kepada Tuhan. Tuhan jaga anak kita kat sana belajar. Moga-moga dia dipermudahkan segala urusannya abang. Iyalah, betul lah cakap hang ni. Abang ni bukan apa sedih. Dulu tak mau belajar pandai. Dulu tak mau belajar tinggi-tinggi, belajar sungguh-sungguh. Kalau tidak,
Memang dia perfect kan, ni
Ya apa?
dia, I mean, Mursyid didn't really prep, he didn't give you a script or whatever kan. So you just record and then you have to program the whole thing based on what he did lah. So he
betul.
actually at this time he was just improvising kan,
Dia spontan ya.
spontan.
Betul.
So
Dia punya-
the story can change. Okay, my comment before we have to wrap up. My comment would be to infuse interactivity, meaning and modularity, meaning that we can change the characters, we can change the stories, and we can also explore some areas where we don't know what can happen, but within certain range lah in the programming, so that will allow what Fairuz said just now, so that it won't be too linear and too preset, too automation, and also include human punya
Interactivity.
intervention. Then we can sort of customize it according to different set of people, different set of communities, and so forth. Maybe that would be something that you can develop further. Okay, I'm sorry, I have to wrap up. We have already 2 hours and 45 minutes. Seronok kan? Tak rasa pun.
Can I say one thing, please? One last thing.
Go for it.
Just a question lah, Hakimi. One thing I'm very curious about lah, sebab benda ni kita menggunakan wayang yang medium yang baru yang tak siapa pernah buat lagi kan. So there is a very interesting kind of exploration that mungkin saya nak suggest lah, kalau ataupun mungkin Hakimi dah tahu. Tapi what can this type of wayang do that traditional wayang cannot do? You know, apa yang kekuatan wujud dalam medium automation ni, menggunakan plastik, menggunakan gunakan motor, gunakan repetition yang tidak, because dalang will get tired, right? After half an hour show dia akan penat. Tapi benda ni tak boleh penat. Kau buat 3 jam, 4 jam, 5 jam je akan continue je. So if that is the strength of this automation, macam mana kita boleh guna kekuatan automation tu untuk mungkin menambah baik atau menginterpretasikan wayang dalam bentuk yang berbeza. Sebab dia tak penat. Wayang ni dia tak boleh what's the advantage of that lah kan. Dari segi disadvantage saya nampak lah, sebab wayang kalau pakai kulit tu dia boleh bergerak macam tu kan. You punya tak boleh. So that is a kekurangan. So dia punya liveliness tu tak ada, sebab kau boleh sini. Tapi kalau wayang tu dalang dia punya kehidupan tu dia nampak. Okay, itu kelebihan wayang tradisional. Tapi kelebihan kau sebagai digital elektronik punya wayang apa? So what can boleh di-explore yang kau boleh take advantage of that yang wayang tradisional tak ada. Itu kau akan lagi hebat lah, sebab sekarang ni apa komen saya lah, kita nak we are trying, bukan salah lah, tapi kita macam nak copy wayang traditional tapi kita nak just translate to digital, you know, which is okay, which is alright, you know, macam Tintoy je buat wayang tapi dia akan translate kepada it's just an interpretation, you know. Tapi sebagai artis, saya rasa lah sebagai artis, sebagai curator ini kita kena tambah sikit lagi lah. We're not just copy, we're not just translating from black to white, white to black kan. Kita kena black dan white tu campur. Apa yang kita boleh tambah yang traditional pun tak ada. Wow, itu persoalan aku lah secara
okay, ada jawapan dia tu.
Provokatif sebenarnya ni lah. Tapi kalau ada jawapan aku nak dengar lah. But if we have to end, we have to end lah.
Okay,
silakan Hakimi, silakan.
Okay, walaupun wayang ni kita nampak dia limited, dia masuk keluar macam tu kan. Tapi kalau nak dibandingkan dengan traditional, of course lah tu dalam tu guna tangan, dia boleh macam ni kan. Tapi yang bergerak tu cuma mulut dengan tangan depan saja. Yang ini mulut, tangan depan, tangan belakang, kaki, pusing, masuk keluar. So ada 6 jenis pergerakan dalam satu karakter. Kalau tradisional tu dia cuma ada 3 saja, iaitu mulut, tangan depan dengan itulah yang tangan. Itu saja. Itu satu.
Kau tambahkan lagi lah, Hakimi. Kau buat 10 pergerakan. Jangan 3 tau. Kau menambah pergerakan gila babi sampai untuk dalang kena ada 6 tu dalang kalau nak buat benda ni kan. Aku punya wayang tu
dan tu sebenarnya possible tau. Yang tu boleh buat.
Kalau saya lah, I'm not sure about other people, but for me, there were many things that actually replicate the technology or the kind of tradition before, but then it became its own self by looking into what Fairuz said lah. So rather than be too dependent on the tradition of wayang kulit, which I think should be left alone as it is. Maybe this one can be a starting point where hopefully you can develop, if you are really committed. Some people will be doing certain things for 10 years, 15 years or their whole life developing. So it can emerge on its own without having to rely on this particular tradition or be compared to that. So you develop your own mechanical language by looking into what yang Fairuz cakap tu, apa kelebihan apa yang dia boleh buat, yang dia boleh create its own language lah, its own operating language that then maybe after this can include AI ke apa ke. Because if any kind of invention, the initial stage will be a lot of
boleh dikatakan
a lot of problems, ada macam-macam isu lah kan. But eventually if you stick to it, you teruskan, it will develop its own language. I see the potential in education, pedagogy, many lah, banyak lah. Cuma mungkin lepas ni you boleh include dengan other kind of technology, especially AI dan sebagainya. So it don't have to be too dependent on wayang tradition. Sometimes we have this, I'm not sure lah, my position is, saya nak memperbaiki, menggalakkan tradisi, but actually no, you don't have to. Tradition, let it be as it is, but you, from inspired by that, you create your own language, your own system, your own logic, and then see what can be developed from there. Tanpa perlu terlalu tertakluk kepada tradisi, but you took off from tradition. Even Fairuz also basically is going back to gotong royong. Kita ada dalam tradition kita itu kalau sesuatu. Jadi and then it developed on its own way according to the situation yang ada di sesuatu locality. I think it's great lah. I think both of you, I'm so happy. Of course, I personally admire all this kind of innovation, experiments. May not be perfect, but we keep on exploring and doing it, and you guys are doing that. And for that, I really admire and salute both of you. I think there are many also, a few more others. Hopefully, I will be able to also bring them to have a chat. Of course, I have to bring both of you together. I think it would be interesting to compare. Ideally, it would be seorang-seorang lah. Then we have enough time lah. Hakimi also have so many things to cover. Fairuz also so many things to cover. Kan? But this is the nature of the knowledge and influence. I really love personally your projects. So, thank you so much.